Dr. Caroline Johnson hadn't come up on my radar before, but this week she did a couple of things that I thought were just a little bit odd. She's a Tory MP from North Hykeham, which incidentally is just down the road from me. Quite sad really that my hometown managed to get rid of the useless waste of good air that was Carl McCartney, only to be keeping hold of Johnson, who is clearly part robot. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a Tory through and through, and some of her voting records clearly indicate. But as a doctor, she really doesn't care about you that much. She stood out to me first with her intervention on the immigration debate, when even Chris Philp, who can talk nonsense about anything, even looked slightly confused for a couple of seconds, wondering how he's going to integrate her intervention into what he was saying, because it didn't quite make sense. And then she asked a question to the Health Secretary and didn't expect the answer to come back as a positive one, because a follow-up question was just non-existent. So she floundered around for a bit and then just spouted some Tory slogan, which she gets called out for. So it's pretty funny.
I give way.
I thank the Right Honourable Friend for giving way. Last year, as part of the Joint Committee on Human Rights, I went to visit Rwanda to see Hope Hostel and see the accommodation that was going to be provided to those people who were moved under the Rwanda scheme. And what I learned from that visit was that, firstly, yes, people will be deterred from going across the Channel, but also that those migrants who were sent to Rwanda would have been well looked after, well cared for, and being able to set up a new life free from war and famine that they were fleeing.
That's true. Yeah, well, look, I thank my honourable friend for her intervention and for taking the time and trouble to actually go and visit Rwanda, which almost no opponent of this bill has ever actually bothered doing. And it's quite clear that the Rwanda scheme would have had a deterrent effect had they allowed it to start.
Department 2.
The Minister, Dr. Caroline Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there were almost 67,000 cases of serious antimicrobial resistant infections in 2023 in the United Kingdom. War is increasing such infections globally, with 80% of patients in one Kyiv hospital in Ukraine said to have such infections. The Conservative government had a plan to tackle it. Does the Labour government plan to follow that plan? Is it on track to meet those targets? And if not, what is he going to do about it?
Mr. Speaker, I'm delighted that Dame Sally Davis continues her work on antimicrobial resistance. It is an absolutely critical issue. I pay tribute to the work that was done by the previous government in this area, particularly by Minister Quince. And of course, I think it's in the national interest that we maintain not just the national but international focus on antimicrobial resistance. That's why UK leadership in those global fora are so important, and we will continue to make sure they are a priority.
Dr. Caroline Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Another area or at a time when it's important to work together is during a pandemic, such as by sharing research and other ways. Unfortunately, recent history tells us that when Labour negotiates, Britain loses out. So can he confirm that whatever emerges from the discussions with the WHO, he will not reduce the UK's capacity to take decisions in the interests of the British people?
Can I just say how regrettable it is that a sensible minister is sent along to parrot the absurd lines of her leader?
As we can see there, she's probably not going to be one of the rising stars in the Tory party. And as we've seen there, she clearly can't do Tory spin very well. Guito Harry, on the other hand, was paid to do just that, and yet he still can't do it. So you can see him failing to try in the videos on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button.